Hello. Hello. No, I'm not, I don't mean to do the baby kitty talk. Hello. This is doll baby. Hello, doll. Here's your doll. Say hi, doll baby. Look at this baby. Oh, this is my sweet girl. So we're here to talk about the full moon in Cancer. So we have all the feels. And hello, by the way, it's Iryliana Samsara. StarSound Speaks, StarSound Astrology, and Doll Baby is the co-host, but she's kind of all right, I'll put you down. I just want to say hello. This is my little bit. Okay. Okay, she wants to go. Okay. Yes, we are here to talk about the full moon in Cancer. This is the final full moon of the year. Oh, we're saying goodbye to 2023. I have some information to share, which I hope you will find useful. If you do like it and want to share it, we would so appreciate that support. Feel free to like, share, subscribe. It always helps the channel. We also love to hear from you, of course, as I say in every podcast. But anyway, for those of you who don't know me, my name's Iryliana, and I practice Hellenistic traditional astrology blended with modern, and I use whole sign houses. So in this video, I'm going to talk about Tuesday's full moon in the sign of Cancer at about 5 degrees of Cancer. And it's going to be happening at 7:33 p.m. Eastern time. So just adjust for your time zone. So if you're in the Eastern Hemisphere, it'll be a little later. The moon is a very, of course, and then anytime you have a full moon in Cancer, it's a deep emotional moon, right? It's Cancer. The moon's in her domicile of Cancer, so this is about nurturing and all. It's interesting because this particular moon is in the bounds of Mars, which means it's like playing by Mars's rules. So let me pull up this chart, and actually, pause button. I'm going to get to that, and I'm going to show you, what dynamics are here and what's available for us and how can we make the most of this full moon. Before I do, I just want to say one announcement is that I am so excited because update, I have changed the charity webinar that I was going to do on the 26th, on the full moon, was about the 2024 forecast for the year ahead. I've decided to change that, as fate would have it. I got a call from REESE, and I am so excited because, as you know, ERIN's taken many journeys here with us on the podcast. A wonderful author of Bindi Girl, books 1 and 2, and it is a Truth Trilogy series. And also she's a mystic, an astrologer, a yogi, very wonderful conversations. Anyway, we're so excited because she's having an event on New Year's Day. So you're all invited, and it is on, which would be, let's see, I'll make sure it's right, 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. So it's 9, it starts, the party, literally, it's a party, and it'll just be great. It starts with a dance party, and it's going to be 9:30 a.m. Great way to start the new year, 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. So that would be lunchtime, 12:30 p.m. Eastern. And we're going to have like a half hour. She's going to be DJ first. We're going to have music, and we can dance and move our bodies and just celebrate and welcome the new year with our physicality and all the potential that's available. Just start bringing it in, right? Bring it in, bring it on. And she's going to be doing tarot. I'm going to do a small, very quick little walkthrough of the major highlights of the year astrologically, what we can look forward to, and powerful ways of holding them. And then she's going to do tarot. She's going to do a meditation. She'll start with meditation, and it'll just be great. And she has somebody who's leading us in an opening chant, and it's going to be about 2 hours. And I think you'll really enjoy it. The tickets are $20 to $40 sliding scale. However, no one is turned away for lack of funds, so give what you can. It's a benefit. It's going to benefit her Truth and Consciousness Foundation Scholarship Fund, and also Doctors Without Borders. I'm going to donate the proceeds from my side to Doctors Without Borders for the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. And so we're very, very excited about this. So we hope that you join us. Yay. I'm putting a link below. Okay, so And also just to say too, with I am going to be offering astrology lessons. I haven't gotten the exact timing yet from Spirit as to when, but it'll be sometime in the next month, in middle to end of January. I'll get that going most likely. So Mercury retrograde, you try to set in Capricorn, you try to set a date. It's like, the divine is like, oh, right, yeah, good luck with that. But anyway, Mercury had its Cazimi today as I record this, so he has emerged. It's like I have been to the mountaintop. He has emerged emboldened and strong and re-energized and reprogrammed and more like grown up, like taking on this big task. The puer aeternus little boy has now grown up and has the sun in Capricorn has placed this great mantle upon his shoulders to say, go forth with maturity, with wisdom, with all of your incredible energies and mind, and build something magnificent for the ages. Build your mindset and your goals with the eye on the long term. Go forth and conquer great achievement. So he's more empowered now, even though he is retrograde. He's emerged out of this meeting with the sun today, and so we are all the beneficiaries of that. So anyway, okay, so the other characteristics of this full moon is, okay, the moon's in domicile and it's in the bounds of Mars. Well, Mars is out of bounds right now. It just started, I think it was yesterday, and it's about for the next month. It's not a long time, but Mars is going to be out of bounds for the rest of the month and into halfway into next year. And so that can give a very, very emboldened way. There may be actions that we take that are outside the norm of where our courage, we can find our courage move into places that we normally don't go. So that can be good. We just don't want to be reckless about it. It's in Sag, Mars is in Sag, right? So we don't want to be reckless or arrogant about that. But what we can do is to boldly speak our truth. And so I think a lot of part of what we're going to see with this full moon is the ability to move into these places. So we could have conversations, especially, we're going into this Christmas weekend, and whether we celebrate Christmas, solstice, Yuletide, all of it, none of it. Kwanzaa is the day after, is on the full moon. Kwanzaa is on the full moon. So there are these opportunities to share with elders, to be with the past, to connect with our ancestors, whether they're here on this planet or in the next dimension. There are some very rich opportunities for healing and emotional clearing. When you think about the sun being, of course, the sun with the full moon in Capricorn, with the full moon in Cancer, the sun is in Capricorn, right? Opposite signs. So what this is saying is, when Capricorn represents, the quest to, like the mountain goat that braves all odds and climbs that craggy little precipice to get to the top. So there's this unwavering commitment to trudge on and this ruthless pursuit of goals to get to the top. Well, in our quest to climb the mountain and establish very concrete Capricorn, right? The concrete external world of wealth and materialism, in our quest to accomplish things that are physical and external, we, at the full moon in Cancer, we realize, wait, there's a little crisis here. The full moon is always about an integration. So what our quest to complete comes to this place where we realize we have to integrate the external goal-oriented part of ourselves with the internal part that needs to reflect, that needs to pause, that needs to breathe and be with our heart, be with emotions, be with loved ones, nurture and love ourselves, foundation of it all, right? And around others, and feel what we feel. Allow our emotions to be a part of that. Our achievements cannot be just this emotionless kind of, gray scale graph paper kind of existence, right? It's like we have to balance and restore. And so this is a time where we want to take time and pause and reflect. So if Mars is in the bounds of Mars, it's like you're going to boldly boldly proclaim your own self-healing and your reflection and your nurturing. And I would also say too, it's a good time when we reflect with that sun in Capricorn in, by the way, in an antitia with Mercury and Mars. So that is a secretive conjunction, right? So they mirror each other by degree. And so what that means is that there is this very powerful opportunity here to really look at look at the big picture of what we have achieved, this year. And even if we feel like we failed or we didn't achieve all the goals that we wanted to, we made efforts. And so major pat on the back there. We made efforts. I feel that, we typically we tend to underestimate what we achieved or what we give ourselves credit for. So this would be a good time to not do that, and to take stock and get into wholeness by acknowledging what we did. And it is absolutely always, I guarantee it's more than we realize. And so there's this place of opportunity of restoration, wholeness, holy. The word holy, right, is whole. So to come into this holiness, the internal and the external is balanced. There's a self-love, there's self-acceptance. This is what we are being called to do. I would say too, I remember doing this years ago when I lived in Manhattan. One year I took out a yellow legal pad and I wanted to write a list. I thought of maybe 10 things I could be thankful for this year. So I wrote out, one down, I got to about 10, and all of a sudden it's just this flow started happening. And I realized, wow, I have so I remembered this and I remembered that. I'm like, oh, you know what? That was a breakthrough. Oh, I got this miraculous something happened and I was able to overcome whatever challenge. I gotta tell you, I wrote and wrote and wrote, and I filled maybe 3 legal size pages full of what I accomplished that I wasn't even aware of when I began. It's like the things started to kick in. So it's very normal that we're not in that place, and our society is not designed to encourage us, to remember and acknowledge us. Oh, we don't live in a society that had in the past that has supported that. Of course, it's changing now, but if you do that, that's an invitation. You might find that useful to take out a pad and see, what have you accomplished, and to give yourself credit and nurture yourself by being present to your own greatness. And even if you feel like like I said, if you fail, the fact that you made an effort, that's what counts. In the Bhagavad Gita, they say that success, it's not this external thing. Just making the effort means you got the job done. So even if you failed at the effort, whatever you wanted to accomplish, the fact that you got out there and tried, I know it's all that matters. I remember when I read that, and it was many years ago, and I'm like, holy moly. I mean, you're talking to a former New Yorker. You're like, oh my God, you mean even failing was a success? And not in a mamby-pamby way. I mean, it's for real. These are the Vedas. These scriptures are thousands of years old. It's like, and what do they say? The truth is the highest level of existence. This stuff is the truth. To think of it that way, that is just the fact that you stepped out to attempt to accomplish. The fact that you're in action is all that the divine is really asking. If you succeeded, great. It's really just icing on the cake. So good stuff to think about with this full moon in Cancer. Another thing to think about, another aspect is when you think about Cancer's a water sign. So there are many different ways water can be room temp, it can be hot, it can be steamy, it can be vapor, it could be frozen. So I'm thinking about the shadow side of Cancer is that we can freeze people out. We can freeze our emotions. We can freeze out people, right? So maybe we can take stock and pause and reflect of where have we frozen out others and that we've not been intimate with for whatever reason, people we're close to, or just an aspect of ourselves where we have not felt in our heart. This is a really good time to have those conversations. We have that Mars out of bounds and Sag, the universe is giving us the juice to speak our truth and step out of places that we normally don't go with conversation, right? It's close to Mercury, right? And, another place too is going down memory lane. Cancer's about the past. It's about not just emotions, it's about family, security, the past, nurturing, comfort, the home, ancestors. So we can, and it's all there, all of those planets are in a square with Neptune, right? Mercury and Mars are in squaring Neptune. And so this can speak to the courage to forgive past abuses or things where we felt deceived or we deceived others. There's this enormous capacity for looking at the big picture and compassionately forgiving ourselves and forgiving others. We might also ask, what did we sacrifice in our ruthless pursuit of goals? What did we sacrifice, and what was the cost of that? And not like in a punitive way. I'm just simply reflecting and getting even with oneself so there can be healing. And maybe ask, like, what are we willing to do to create compassion moving forward, healing this past, healing and letting go of the past, because the shadow side of Cancer too is to be clingy, to cling to the past, to cling to past hurts, to not nurture ourselves because we're hanging on to the past about past hurts. So this is about a place where we can heal that. What are we doing to create compassion for ourselves? How can we be more compassionate beings for ourselves, for our society? With Saturn and the Sun are in a sextile, so Saturn and Pisces, how can we use this full moon as an opportunity to reflect and pause and take this out into the world, where what kind of beautiful ideal society do we want to create? Well, I just gave the answer. Beautiful ideal society, hint, hint. And so, yeah, things to think about. What physical things might we do to help with this? Well, when you think about Cancer, water sign, how about a warm salt bath? Something very healing, like Dead Sea salts, or your favorite whatever, with Jupiter about to go direct in Taurus, get your favorite those little scented powdery balls, you put the thing in the water and it like fizzes and it smells really nice, whatever. Dr. Teal's is great. Epsom salt, lavender, rose, right? Rose is the Cancerian, right? Let's get some rose out there. Some rose or rose oil in there, or lilac, not lilac, lavender, lavender Dr. Teal's, that'll heal all things. Maybe a massage, going for a nice massage, or maybe having a really difficult conversation with somebody for the purpose of healing, and then you both go out and get a massage or a mud bath, or go out in nature and garden and connect with the earth, Jupiter and Taurus, right? Making that sextile. Healthy comfort food would be another. Make it healthy, I know it's hard to say that, right? It's Christmas, like, oh, those cookies. I was like, all right, well, whatever. But some nice comfort food. This is going to lend itself very, very nice for that with the holidays here. Music, well, of course, any kind of music that will put you in your heart, but it's Christmas carols, whatever. The one that came up to me, I just get these ideas right before I do these podcasts, and so I don't even tell you this, but 98% of the time I'm like worrying about my Mercury, my Virgo Mercury is like, oh my God, what am I going to say? And it has to be perfect. And I get into such anxiety, and I'm like, oh, please, I ask the divine, please help me get rid of this anxiety. And anyway, one thing that came, but then I get these ideas, it just flows. Well, the piece of music that we thought of right before this podcast, was this beautiful piece of modern classical music by Jules Massenet, and it's called Meditation or Méditation. And it's a very famous piece. I'll put the link below, but it's beautiful. So if you feel like you have to forgive yourself for something from the past, or you have to forgive somebody else, and or both, this music always brings a tear to my eye. It's very easy to get teary, right? With a Pisces moon, full moon, and a Cancer full moon, right? These are like teary-eyed Kleenex moons. But that's a really great one, Meditation. And the other thing I thought of, it flashed on, was it was in the movie Schindler's List. I remember, like, in the final, spoiler alert, okay, but come on, 30 years ago it was there. one of the final scene in the movie when he says goodbye to the prisoners, and he has to say goodbye, and he has to sneak out, so he sneaks out in his big car, but he is in the back, somebody's driving him out, and he's wearing the Holocaust prisoner stripes, right, so that he won't be noticed and to be smuggled out. And so and I remember that teary scene where they're all saying goodbye to him, and and this is so Capricornian, right? You know, it's like here's the sacrifice that the Jewish prisoners made, is they drank alcohol and had somebody pull the teeth out that had gold, and they made a gold ring, you know, so he would remember them. And is always the most I mean, I don't care how stuck in blocked my heart is when I think about that scene. It I just go to pieces. And I just thinking about it earlier, I already went to pieces. So I don't know, I did. It doesn't like crying now. I'm surprised. But you know, at the end when he says, "Oh, you know, the car," he said, "The car that could have been 10 people," you know, and oh, here it comes again. It's like he's trying to say, "Well, I could have saved more. I could have saved more." And they're like, "No, no, no, it's okay. It's okay." You know, it's like, oh, it always makes me cry just thinking about that. But these are things, the music or a piece of a film like that, or whatever it is that can help you get into your heart. And if that's going to help you to forgive, and to heal, and to, you know, open and be present to your own beautiful heart self, you know, whatever it's going to take, this new moon, of course, is gonna support us in that. So the making of our wholeness and our completeness, the access is through forgiveness and being brave and bold and having powerful conversations around our truth. You know, Mars and Sagittarius conjunct the galactic center too. So that's like this connecting with our higher divine self and cosmic consciousness. And how can that evolve ourself? Well, it can, right? It has this incredible ripple effect. It will advance our consciousness and the consciousness all over the world when we have these high level conversations. So I think in wrapping up, I feel it's a combination of speaking these truths, and having these incredible conversations with our elders, with the past, with people in our past, and warm, loving, memory lane, you know, comfort food. I think all of this, we covered all the bases, right? I think this could be, it's a really beautiful full moon. And my wish for you is that you all have a really wonderful one. And I'm sure you will. I'm rooting for you. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say. So I do hope you have a fantastic one. And if you celebrate Christmas, and Kwanzaa and or all of them or none of them, I just wish you love and blessings from my heart to yours. And we will see you very soon. Okay. My next interview, I have Michael Bartlett's interview coming up. I interviewed him the other day. And we're going to be talking about 2024, a little walkthrough, getting his opinion on what we're excited about for next year. So we got you covered. Okay, guys, love you very much. Mwah. Have a great one, and we'll see you soon. This is Ileana Samsara, StarSound Speaks, starsoundastrology.com. Thank you all for listening. Namaste.